Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Igor, I am QA engineer and today is a new episode. This episode about how we are going to write our first test using Playwright, and for that we just need Node installed on our machine and we are good to go. So I propose you to start right away, not to waste your time and to enjoy my video. Let's get started. So first of all, let's say if your machine has Node or doesn't have. Let's check it. Node version. Alright, Node is not in place, but that's not a problem. Basically, we need to install Node, and the easiest way to install Node is using NVM. NVM is Node Version Manager. That's a tool which helps you to install different versions of Node and manage them easily. And in order to install Node, we can follow its official instruction, and we can see it's simple installation script where you can run just one command and just install it with a bash. But before doing that, let's take a look on which shell we are using, because that's important for our case. We are using Z shell, and before we are going to install our NVM, let's make sure that we have a profile file for our shell scripts. And to do so, let's check if our file exists actually. We can check if it's in place. We can, for example, cat get no such file. So before installing NVM, we need to create our Z profile file. And to do so, we just simply can run. You can see different commands for bash, for zsh, and different shells. We are going to use a zsh, and for that we just need to create a file, and we are going to do it with touch command. So we just going to run touch, and yeah, file in place is just empty. And now when we have file, we are ready to go. We are ready to install our NVM manager. So let's just copy our command and simply paste it. NVM was already installed, but it was not in my profile, and so it is important to have it in your shell profile in order to be able to run it. When we install it and add it to our profile, we need to reload our profile. So to reload your profile, you can use different commands. For our Z shell, we are going to use source. Yes, continue. And now we should be able to see our Node version manager. Let's see. NVM version. Right, it's in place. Now we can run nvm help to see available commands. Basically, we can simply install a long time support version. For example, it should be not 20 at this point of time. Alright, so Node is already installed in my machine, but now it just pinned to my profile. And now if I do Node version, it's there. So fairly easy to install. Now we are ready to start with our tests. Let's get back. And Playwright basically has nice instruction. You can just go to playwright.dev and open first page, get started section, and how to install Playwright. And first command which they propose to run is just npm init. Let's use npm for now, and let's copy it. Let's open our Visual Studio Code and let's create new folder. So open folder, create new folder, we'll call it Playwright right away. And yeah, inside this command we can actually, let's navigate it. It's in desktop, it's Playwright. Alright, so we can run installation command. npm install latest. We are choosing TypeScript. We want to install tests in tests folder. We don't need GitLab actions. We want to include browsers because we required them in order to run our tests. So yes, and we're just waiting for installation. We can see what actually installation brings to us. Let's have a look. Soon. Alright, so tests should be installed, but for some reason I don't see them. Let's open it. It's some probably sync problem. Anyway, they are in place. Let's have a look on configuration files. It's the main file for now and the most interesting for us. Here basically we can see our folder for our tests. We can see different modes, run it either in parallel or one by one, and we can see and set retries. We are not interested in it. And let's take a look on browsers which we are going to run. Desktop Chrome, desktop Firefox and Safari. For now let's just keep Chrome, we don't need the rest. And just to make sure that everything works, let's open some tests which we have by default. So basically you have a couple of them. Let's have a look at basic one, examples, where you check title and some started links. We are going to have only one of them, and let's run our start command. It's also pretty straightforward. We can see how to actually run our tests. Let's fire it. Oh, before that we want to also delete another example tests. We don't need them for now. We just keep tests. We're going to delete this folder. Yes, and let's start our tests. So 6 of them are passed. That's because I didn't save my files previously. So let's save it again and try again. It should be one of them. Yes, one test passing, but you actually don't see what is going on inside the browser, and we want to kind of show you what is going on under the hood. For that we have UI mode. Well, basically you can run tests with UI, and that's more interesting. Let's hit it and run. Right, you can see debug mode where you can just simply run our tests. Let's hit play button, and that's it. You can see different kind of information, and what I find the most useful is a network tab. That's a tab basically where you can see all the requests fired on the page. You can see the method, you can see the status, and basically you can see response, which helps you to debug in case if your test fails, in case if you run tests on some dev environment or in production and you see error message and don't understand what is going on. So here's the best friend to help. You can also see console logs if some of them are there, and you can see progress of UI rendering. That was it for straightforward run, but what if we want to write our first test? Let's open our code and Visual Studio, and for example let's name our test like what we want to do. Let's open Playwright site. Let's say we want to open main page. We want to search something. For example, we want to search for, I don't know, for example, for mouse click, just for click, right? For click, and click the first option on mouse click. And then we probably want to assert that mouse click is visible on the page. And what we need to do, first we need to open home page, and let's call our test search for mouse click. And yeah, basically we can open Playwright site, but we don't want to use hard-coded base URL. Let's move it, let's make it better, let's move it to configuration. Configuration basically should have base URL parameter. That's where you can define a URL which is using for the tests. Now we are going Playwright dev, and now we can just open home page, right? Next one, we want to search something. How we can search it? Basically, here is search field, and in order to initiate it, we need to click it. So next step is to click on element. Let's inspect it and find. Playwright provides you millions of ways how to click it, and if you are opening Playwright actually docs and see the most efficient and recommended way inside the locators, we can search for locators, and they basically volunteer for get by role method, and that's where they mention it reflects the user behavior and looks like is one of the most popular way to get locator role. But I actually prefer more old-fashioned and more straightforward way is using CSS locators or XPath in order if it's not possible to perform CSS. And let's just get started with CSS for now, as it's more easy to understand what you're actually looking for on the page. And we are looking for search button. I see it has a couple of classes. It has area label search, and we actually can search it. Let's try to find our locator. Yeah, it's there. So by just using attributes, we can define our search. Let's get back to code, and basically we have a couple of elements here. We have our test where we define our scenario, and we have a page. Page basically is a central element, that's a central thing that provides all the power to you from the Playwright. And you can open documentation on API and find basically our page class and its instance. Basically, page class provides super rich functionality. You can see all the available methods here, and in order to find some locator, we can find locator method. Here it is, and syntax is straightforward. You just hit page.locator and you are good to go. So let's get back to the code, and basically let's find page and let's find our locator which we used before and which I closed already. And let me find it again. It should be button with area label search, right? Let's get back to code and we just simply find it this way. Now when we define locator, we need to click on it, and basically locator, let's see what it does. Returns an element locator that can be used to perform actions. Now it's time to use action, and basically there are a couple of actions available, and we are currently interested in click. let's have a look. It returns locator. Our manual also has locators class, and locator has click. That's simple click which we can reuse. Right, so we clicked on it. What happens next? Next we have an input where we want to insert our information. Let's see which locator it has. We are interested in input. I see ID. Let's inspect if ID is free here. And it is free. Let's get back to test again. We can use locators. For now, it's pretty simple test, and we don't want to use page objects, which I'm going to introduce you later. Page object is a more powerful approach which helps you to handle locators in a better way, not to have them in the test itself, because when it comes time to refactor this in and you have locators all over your test, it makes it hard to refactor. And we have our input, and now it's time to insert the value. So basically, to insert the value we can use fill. If you search for locator, it has fill command, yeah, and we can fill in some text. And as we agreed, we are going to fill in click, and basically fill click. Next one, we got a list of items, and we need to find our mouse click item. And okay, so to find mouse click, we can experiment here a little bit. Playwright has nice documentation on locators, and you can find repetitive items, like you have a list and list item, and you can filter them by having some text. And let's try it. So first we can call it with selector, and then we can actually filter it with text. And our selector is a class of all the titles present, and basically we can see them. Let's get back to our code and let's play around. That's what Playwright is about. Play around. And locator, we can get all the items. Now we can use filter, and we can call filter with has, right? And yep, with has text. Let's get back to it. And which text do we expect? For example, we want to expect mouse text. Let's say mouse. We want mouse text. And click. What's next? So we clicked on it, and we should basically see some unique locator for that mouse click, and it's ID mouse click. Oops, sorry. That's an ID of mouse click. And basically, if you are going to search it inside the link, so it should be R, and oh, you can do it in a way like mouse click, still, let me see what I'm doing wrong here. And strange. Yeah, okay. So basically mouse click, that's our locator we are going to use. And we need to assert our action. We need to assert that locator is present on the page. And to do so, there is expectation methods. Again, let's get back to assert section inside menu. And you can see a bunch of expectation. Here, as you can see, what it does. We need to be visible element, so we can use it. Let's paste it, and again we need our locator, which actually is what was that? It was mouse click. It should be mouse click. It's enough to have mouse click to be visible. We need, of course, we need to provide locator and not just the text. Page locator. Okay, and let's run it. Why not? Let's save it first of all. And let's get back and start our test. First of all, we need to finish existing one. Start new. Search for mouse click. No way, it's green from the first try. You can see how it was developed. Page is loaded. We clicked on our input, filled in some value. We got our results. We clicked on results, and then page is loaded with mouse click. But let's say if something went wrong, let's say we used wrong locator, it could happen, right? And let's see what actually happens. Let's run it again. Alright, let's make it totally wrong, because oh, I didn't save it. Okay, that was my fault, I didn't save it. Could be. Let's hit again. I need to enable how to save, because it gets tricky. Alright, so yeah, we see a problem here. Locator, which apparently doesn't exist on the page, was not found. And that's how we know what went wrong, and that's error message which we see, which help us to debug. And basically, what else we can see? We can see the place where it fails, and that was easy. Let's also have a look. Let's make it right again. Let's stop UI mode and let's make sure it's green. Yeah, definitely it is. And we also have a report available for us, and in order to see the report, let's run the test without UI mode. And here is a comment to see our HTML report. Here it is. It shows you what went good, and let's try to see what went wrong. Let's stop it and let's change our locator to the wrong one and run it again. Up, not a locator. Run test again. to wait a little bit, and now it failed. Now it shows you the reason. First of all, expectations are using some timeout, so it's not failing right away. It has gentle way, try to resolve it for some period of time, which you can configure in configurations, and if it was failed at the end, it basically brings you an error. And we can see here what happened, and HTML report is opened by default and shows you a step at which it failed. And basically it was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new. It's totally enough to start writing your automation, so don't hesitate and start learning automation just today, and it will save you time tomorrow. Instead of manual regression tests, you're just going to have fun with automation one. I hope you enjoyed, so subscribe and give me a like. See you next time. Bye.